Years ago, a chief judge said that a black man has no rights by which a white person is bound to respect.
That's versus Ferguson.
We know that 160 years later, we still see the same thing. No justice!
No peace!
No justice!
No peace!
That is the battle cry of the people who refuse to give in to the pressures from authority when an injustice has taken place. What we have seen right now is a movement that is happening throughout the world because people have now come to understand what was once incomprehensible. And that is that the beating, choking, and killing of unarmed black men, women, and children are not isolated incidents, as some would have you believe. We have bills that have been signed into law. But the problem with that is that we still see some police officers beating, choking, and still killing our loved ones. So while it is great that these bills have been signed into law, and that has only happened because of the pressure of the people, so give yourselves a hand for that. They still mean absolutely nothing if we do not have prosecutors in place who are ready to ensure that the government, its agents and officials are held to the same set of rules that enables a fair and functioning society. You see, social and political change can only happen with serious, intentional, and meaningful action. So you can't straddle the fence on this.
No.
You gotta pick a side. Either you condone extrajudicial killings and summary executions of our loved ones, or you support their policies. So which one is it gonna be? My father, 68 years old, in his home, only wanting to be left alone, ended up being mocked, taunted, called a nigger, tasered, shot with a beanbag shotgun 4 times, and then shot with live ammunition. The commissioner of public safety out here, without even conducting an investigation, says the shooting was justified.
No, it's not.
The Westchester County District Attorney at that time promised a full and fair investigation, but in May of 2012 came back with no true bill. When they asked her, what about the word nigger, she said yes, it was used, but she justified it and said it was used as a tactic to distract Mr. Chamberlain.
Unacceptable.
That's in the policies.
Unacceptable.
Policies and procedures.
So now we move forward civilly.
Come on, brother.
The judge at that time takes the heart of our case and dismisses it through qualified immunity.
Because it wasn't his father.
But as you heard, over 2 years later, they kicked it back. And now we're back in court.
There you go. That's right.
But I want to tell you something. You have to keep an eye on these cities. Because if you can talk about how horrific the killing of George Floyd was, you better damn well talk about how horrific the killing of Kenneth Chamberlain Sr. was.
That's right.
Because Westchester County has its own George Floyds too. So what we have done, with the help of some of the nonprofit organizations and stakeholders in the city, is we put together a letter. This letter right now is sitting on the New York State Attorney General's desk. We are not asking, We are demanding that she take a second look at these cases of police misconduct, brutality, and criminality, or where people have died at the hands of law enforcement. This is the letter right here. And New York State Attorney General, I voted for you. Do the right thing. Don't kick it back to the presumptive Democratic nominee, Mimi Rocha. Don't kick it back to her, because this is what the governor signed the bill for. Do your job. Please, do your job. Now, some people say, hey, why are you asking for that? Well, you heard Stan Ridley, Christopher Ridley's father, say that the person that took the headshot and killed Chris was his platoon leader. Do you think that was admitted into the grand jury? No, it was not. They said my father posed an imminent threat to life and well-being at that time, and that my father had his arm raised and was attacking the officer. But the coroner's report said the bullet hole made entry 4.5 inches below his shoulder, so his arm couldn't have been raised. Because logic will tell you that if his arm was raised, where would the bullet have gone? Right here. Do you think that was admitted into the grand jury? The knife that my father was supposed to have had in his hand, the skin cells did not match his DNA. So here's the problem. Your New York State Chief Judge, Janet DeFiore, was the current DA at that time. She is now called for an independent review of institutional racism within the court systems. Well, Chief Justice, you need to check yourself first. She was upset that she was receiving an award one day and someone referred to the Office of Court Administration as organized crime. She took it personally as an Italian American. So why can I not take it personal that my father was called a nigger and then killed? So I'm gonna end, but I wanna just say thank you to all of you who came out here, who are standing with these families, such as myself. It restores our faith in humanity. But again, we have to keep our eyes on these elected officials. And my message to them is simple. When you judge or condemn someone, you stand to be judged or condemned by that same standard. So remember, when you yell, justice for George Floyd, yell, justice for Kamal Flowers, yell, justice for Jonathan Maldonado, yell, justice for DJ Henry, yell, justice for Bernard Washington. Again, I want to thank you all for coming out. Please take some time, talk to the families. It's 8 o'clock. I don't want them to say we overstayed our welcome, but please speak to some of the families that you see here. Thank you again for coming out.